everybody. Welcome back to the North Central Washington MVP interview series brought to you by Career Connect Washington and the Apple STEM Network. I'm your host, Carrie Horning, Career Connected Learning Specialist with the NCESD 171. Our goal today is simple: to introduce our community partners throughout North Central Washington to one another. And as I do each week, I like to remind you a win today looks like each of you leaving with a greater understanding of the work being done all around us here in North Central Washington and how you might be able to get involved. So grab your lunch, sit back, and get ready for an extra dose of professional nourishment. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with two amazing women from Fyre in Okanagan, Christy O'Neill and Michelle Sandoval. Michelle is the co-executive director and co-founder, and Christy is the youth education and employment advocate, as well as a career connected lead. And if you follow this series at all, you know the common theme with all of our MVPs is that these folks love their work and they're helpers. And these two Pisces are no exception. So I'm not that familiar with astrological signs, but when they told me that a fun fact about them was that they share the same sign, which is Pisces, I had to Google it actually, to get a little bit more information. So I looked it up, and this is what I found. I'm just going to share this straight across. Compassionate, artistic, deeply emotional, especially empathetic, at least a little bit psychic, we can talk more about that later, and often inclined to throw themselves into caring for others at all costs. The Pisces in your life are some of the most magical people you'll ever come in contact with. And knowing these two ladies as much as I do, I felt like I don't need to read any more. That is to a T describes them. So I thought that was pretty darn cool, coming from somebody who doesn't know much about the signs. So that's a great compliment. And I really do. I want to go back a little bit later to see if you guys really have a little bit of psychic abilities there. So Michelle and Christy, welcome. Are you ready to do this?
Yes, we are.
All right. So here we go. First question is, for those who maybe didn't hear Michelle when we interviewed you for Fyre in a previous episode, tell us a little bit about Fyre. What's going on up there?
Yeah, so Fyre stands for the Foundation for Youth Resiliency and Engagement. And we are a relatively new organization. We opened our doors in October of 2020. A month that we thought would be the end of COVID, but actually turned out to be the beginning. And we have, in that time, we have grown pretty considerably in terms of the amount of young people that we have served and also what we offer at Fyre. And so at this time, Fyre is an organization that employs 6 employees part-time and 10 full-time employees. And we also have seen since October of 2020, over 1,000 young people across Okanagan County. Wow. And we average around roughly 200 to 500 visits per month from youth. And so that means, sometimes young people are coming in almost every day. And other young people we're seeing on a more drop-in basis. And what we offer really varies, because we do believe that we want to have a place for young people to find a space for themselves at Fyre, no matter what their need looks like. And so we offer a continuum of services, all the way from just being available as a safe place to hang out. So we offer recreation space for young people, all the way up to one-on-one services where we get in really deep into the work with young people who usually are ranging anywhere from 5 to 9 needs in terms of, housing, food assistance, what looks like medical, trying to get them connected to medical insurance or, look at medical advocacy. We also support young people through systems involvement, whether that be child welfare or the justice system. And so we really do a broad range of work because we want to provide support for young people as a whole, within their whole person, and also for any young person that may find themselves in need of Fyre. We want them to have something that we can work with them on or provide them with. And really our mission is to advocate for all young people, so that they may thrive. And our vision, the hope that we want to get to, is to really have a community where young people have access to healthy homes, they have access to healthy bodies and healthy communities. And so we're trying to do a lot of this work, and one of these projects is the project that we're here to talk to you about today.
Excellent. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. So, well, let's go ahead and get into it then. So we're here to talk about the Youth and Community Health Career Navigation Program, which I know is the result of much research and a successful bid at a development grant through Career Connect Washington. So before we get into the heavy details of exactly what this program is, can you share with us a little bit about the process of getting that grant? Because I know that takes a lot of work, and I'd like people to kind of understand that.
Yeah, Christy, do you want me or you to take this one?
I feel like I will let you take that one, Michelle.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that, historically, if you all know Christy, or myself, and kind of some other roles that we have played in the community, we have some history in terms of working with employers and hearing employers in terms of what is the need looking like in our community in Okanagan County around community health. And so Christy, in her previous position, did a lot of work in terms of needs assessments with employers, and of course also with people looking for work. And so we knew that from the employer end, and also in terms of what we typically see in people looking for work who are on the adult spectrum, there was a place for community health. Definitely when we opened our doors at Fyre and we started seeing an increasing number of young people who had a need to, get a pathway to employment, we started talking to them about what their future could potentially look like. And we actually started hearing a lot of young people speak about Fyre in a way where it was inspiring to them to actually want to do the work that we were doing. And they wanted to do that work, not specifically like, I want your job, right? Like I want to be an advocate, or I want to open my own youth center, but they spoke about it in a way of like, you saw a need that we had in our community. I want to do that. I want to contribute to this community. I want to help, other young people who have experienced some of the things that I have experienced. And so really when we heard these things, Chrissy, as our employment advocate, really started working with young people to figure out, well, where could you go? Where could you fit at different organizations? And she started sharing these opportunities. And we saw young people getting really excited. And we also realized that they didn't know that these opportunities were available. And so what we started to do was formulate this project, this grant, and we started kind of refining our questions a little bit with young people. And we decided that this would be a great opportunity to apply for a Career Connect Washington grant with some of this input and feedback, not only from our employers, but also from the young people, because we saw a gap. And we said, you know what? We actually need people like this, like our young people, to work in these community health spaces, because that is what it's going to take to change health in our community. And so we put these two together, and we wrote the grant, and we received it, and started that work in 2022.
Excellent. Thank you for giving us a little bit more detail about that. So, all right, you get the award, you get the grant. Now you've built this program out, and again, I want to make sure that I say it properly. Youth and Community Health Career Navigation is the program name. So can you kind of in detail really give us some information? What type of work is happening around that grant?
I'll go ahead and start off here. So yeah, what we've been doing is, so our target population for this youth are youth ages 16 to 24 who identify as BIPOC youth, and also within like the LGBTQ plus community. And what we're really doing is just working with them to explore, prepare, and enter into in-demand careers within community and behavioral health. A lot of those roles are like peer-based roles, community health workers, caregivers, early childhood education, and then also like entry points into administrative roles and direct care roles within healthcare. And so, like Michelle said, we're seeing about 750 young people annually, with over like 100 of them, of those young people engaging in like our direct service work. And like one of the main goals that we have with this is to really increase like our local diversity in healthcare and behavioral health workforce, just to really more closely align with the young people that we're seeing in our community and just our community as a whole. And what we found was that like the young people that are coming through our doors have wanted to see more people in the community and behavioral health roles that look like them and sound like them and have experiences like them. And so we have some young people that we're working directly with to help us create this program and to really provide their feedback and input as to like what they feel like a program that helps to prepare you and expose you and connect you to these careers should look and feel like for them. And, so through this program, we're intentionally engaging youth in the building and development. Our youth team members have helped us to create the outreach materials. They have helped to evaluate the soft skills programming for this and are providing regular feedback on what's working and what's not. And so there are like a couple different areas in which our youth can connect in this community health program. And that the first one is like exploring. So that's everything from like us working one-on-one to provide exploratory opportunities to the youth that are interested, that walk through our doors and say like, I have lived experience. I am a young person that wants to see myself in a role in helping others or doing something good in my community. And that's everything from doing like helping to connect them to job shadows, informational interviews, industry tours, campus tours, like those types of things, just to say like, within our community, like you don't have to leave here to have great opportunities. There are wonderful places and careers that you can enter into here. And so it's really just helping them to see what those opportunities can be. Another one is the preparing or training. So that starts off with like one thing that we really did hear and are listening to from our employers is that it's really easy for our young people to get the jobs, but to keep them is a whole other thing. And the soft skills piece is something that we just can't ignore, that our employers can't ignore. And we're finding through their feedback and also through challenges that our young people have shared is that they're the pieces that they really struggle with are, like communication in the workplace, the conflict resolution, like receiving feedback and giving feedback and how you do that in the different forms of communication and, just little things like body language. And so we've had a lot of young people through these through the preparation, which is like, so starting with soft skills and then moving into like internships and work experiences, and then continuing to like develop and refine their soft skills while in those internships, just to make sure that they have the ability to keep those jobs but also advance within those jobs. And so that's a really big piece of it for us, is the preparation, the internship opportunity. And then we also, a lot of our young people don't have the space in their lives to do part-time work so the work experiences that our young people go into are part-time, not without benefits. And so, a lot of our young people are like, well, that would be amazing for me, but I need a full-time job. I need to be working right now. I don't have the freedom to dream, like I really need to be able to enter into work right now. So another element of this is for us working with our young people to just enter directly into work within, particularly one medical clinic that we have in our area has some really amazing entry-level positions where they're really great about focusing on exposure from within and providing advancement opportunities through those entry-level positions. So we have a lot of young people that have entered into entry-level administrative roles or like dental assistants and medical assistants with opportunities for advancement. And so, and then the fourth element is like specialty. So we have with any of our young people that are really interested in higher education and are on a path right now to enter directly into higher education, we're working with them to explore what those opportunities can look like, particularly within healthcare and behavioral health, and then providing support, a lot of like wraparound support to them once they've entered into college. And, and again, what we're finding is that getting into higher education is a challenge all in itself, but remaining successful and overcoming all of the life challenges that you encounter once you do get into school is just a whole other thing. And making sure that our young people have the access to the supports within campus that they need. And when life really starts to hit them, that they have this body of support to make sure that they that their needs are covered, and that when a crisis comes along, that they have people that are able to support them through that. And so, we currently have 12 internship sites across Okanagan, or 12 interns or 12 young people that have like engaged in internships or one of these like different sort of pathways. And I think we have 4 to 5 employers that we're currently working with.
That's terrific. I love to hear the approach and, from listening and building, based off of what the need is, and then going into the soft skills. I think a nice little added, story is this morning, I started my day off with a gentleman from the East Coast who is now retiring. So he's, a little bit, more mature, say, in his work life than the three of us here. But one of his comments was, it's so important to not be defined by the title or the salary, but by your soft skills. And to hear him at a whole different stage of his career, talk about how important those soft skills are, it just always drives it home. It's very important. We deal with it every single day. We're trying to teach and impress the importance of soft skills. So I love that that's a key element in this program. So, hats off to you guys for all of that. So one thing that I wanted to dial back and ask about is, and forgive me, I believe I missed it, but age group wise, are we talking about high school students as well, or is this just students who have already finished high school?
So our primary focus right now for the internships is post high school, just because that for the majority of our young people outside of the summer, so 18 to 24 is where like the majority of our young people are landing for entering into the internships. But over the summer, we have a lot of resources that can specifically provide support to young people that are currently in school for internships. And then for the exploring and the soft skills piece, it's anybody from 16 to 24.
So are you able to share with us a little bit about, you talked about having a few employers and then, a larger number of interns. Can you share with us what some of them are doing?
Sure. So we have our 4 main employers right now are Fyre. So Fyre is one, we have had at least 4 to 6, I think, interns who have worked with us, and they have worked on our advocacy side as well as on our recreation side. So one of the young people that worked on our advocacy side had experience with home housing instability and addiction in her family. And so she was able to work with us on some housing programs, some housing projects, and then also worked on the youth side, the recreation side of our agency on a lot of different events that we had. We have another young person who is interning with us currently, who is a tutor for our current high school students. We've had a couple of people here. We have one person who is actually currently working at family health centers as a dental receptionist, who has a dream of becoming a dental hygienist. And he had never thought about that before actually you know, getting this opportunity at this dental clinic. And we have another young mom who is working at an assisted living center as a recreation assistant, and is hoping to, once she completes her internship, to enter into a training to become a CNA. And then we had, I'm trying to think, Okanagan County Child Development Association also has like a really, is incredibly supportive of our young people, and had one of our young people as a teacher's aide over the summer, and is hoping to bring on at least 1 to 2 more this summer. So they're just in a variety of roles all over the place. It's really awesome.
Yeah, that is terrific. So for those of us who aren't specifically in the Okanagan County, can you kind of give us an idea of, you know, the scope of the territory that's covered by Fyre, by the program?
I can start that, and I feel like Michelle would have to add it, but yeah, Okanagan County, I think, is like the 3rd largest county in the nation. I don't know if I'm quite correct on that, but we are physically the size of Connecticut. And so we are a very vast region. I think we have about like 4 people per square mile. I feel like Michelle has some more statistics that she can add to that.
Yeah, I like to describe, Chrissy's got it with the size of, you know, one of our small eastern states, you know, in the United States. But it's, you know, over 5,000 square miles. And so we're talking about, you know, if we're talking about with respect to where we're located, where Fyre is located, with respect to, you know, everybody else, we're kind of considered central Okanagan County. And so point to point, you can go north an hour, you can go south an hour, and then also you can go east and west. And so it is a very large place. And what we are, you know, one of our goals as Fyre, as an organization, not just for our community health program, is to really be able to strengthen our partnerships with schools and community members, so that we are covering our, you know, our county. And certainly that is part of our mission. And that is part of, you know, our organizational goals are to really be able to reach all Okanagan County youth in terms of those needing access to a place like Fyre. And so we definitely know that, you know, that requires community, and that requires partnership, because we have to be able to connect with young people who, you know, are furthest from, you know, what we know. And oftentimes that means that, like, it will be calling on partners to say, who is the young person who's furthest from getting access to services? And you tell us that, you tell us who they are.
We're here today. Yeah. I can totally appreciate that. North Central Washington, it's a big territory and there's a lot of space. So it's exactly why we're here today, to share the message. So let's get back on message. So you've shared a lot about the program, a lot about Fyre. How can community members step in to assist? If an individual or an employer wants to get involved, how do they go about doing that?
Yeah, so I'll share a little bit, you know, about kind of some of the, I mentioned, you know, one of the things, you know, one of the ways right now, which is we count a lot on community referrals when it comes to, not when it comes to the Okanagan OMAC area, because we're pretty close to young people here. And usually young people are referring fellow young people. And so it's really easy to get connected with us if the young people are in OMAC and Okanagan. But if we're talking about, you know, we're talking about a place like Oroville, or we're talking about Pateros, or we're talking about, you know, a student who goes to Lake Roosevelt School, we really need our community members and our school partners to connect those young people to us, because one of the most important ways that, you know, allows us to work with people is trust. And youth need to be able to have somebody they trust wherever they are. And so, and only that way can that person then connect them to us and say, this young person trusts me. I am going to make this referral to you and kind of help you build that trust with them. And so that's what we're really counting on when it comes to outlying community partners. I think the other major thing that, you know, we are thinking about as an organization is just this long-term vision of really increasing access for all of our Okanagan County young people to dreaming about careers and opportunities and economic stability that can be real for them. And so, you know, we mentioned it lightly earlier that, like, when we've had these conversations with young people, they are surprised, number one, that these opportunities exist, right? And like Chrissy said, some of them are as old as 24. And so for a 24-year-old to be surprised about a potential opportunity is like, how many chances did that young person have beforehand where somebody could have told you about this, where somebody could have got you excited about working, about, you know, about getting connected to community. And I think another aspect of it is that safe person, that trust, right? All of us as communities members can be that person to someone. And I think one of the elements that is unspoken in the work that we do is that we can tell somebody, we believe in you, and you have the ability to dream. You have the ability to think of something beyond the immediate. And that is something that, unless we do that with young people, we don't get to the other side of like, oh, I can get a job, I will apply for a job. Right. One of the very basic steps that we do is just like building up that confidence and that you know, that dreaming. And Chrissy is so excellent at this, just like planting that seed. And that seed can be planted you know, as young as kindergarten and first grade and second grade, of just like, these are things that you can really do. And I think we really want our community partners and our schools to work with each other in order to begin planting those seeds of community health, of a better community here. And that takes all of us. Yeah. And Chrissy, absolutely. I think you have a more specific share.
Yeah, so Carrie, I feel like I got lost in the question, but
do you want me to repeat it, or are you good?
Yeah, go for it one more time, just for me, for my brain.
Really asking for people who are watching this, whether they're an individual or a company, if they want to get involved in assist Fyre or assist you know, the kids, the students who are coming in, the young adults who are coming in, how do they go about doing that?
You know, I will say that one thing that we really need and are seeing from certain employers is just that we need our employers to understand that our young people are working through a lot of things when they're entering into these opportunities and they're entering into employment. And what we are really looking for is our employers in our community to truly, you know, see that young people are works in progress, and that they have barriers, and that like one of the greatest things that they can be doing is providing on-site mentors to the young people, to being those young people's champions. Like, I know for myself, as a young person who had like a lot of barriers to success, and employment was one of the things for me that was like in my employment spaces, there were always people who believed in me and were like, you might have a whole lot of crazy going on in your life, but I see your potential. And like, there's so much that we can do through Fyre, but in this space where our young people are spending so many hours of their day, and those employers are seeing what they're really great at and seeing them on a regular basis, like just being able to pay attention to the special skills and the special qualities that our young people have, and also the complexities of their lives, you know, to just be able to really say like, I see you, I'm a champion for you, and I'm going to connect you to somebody within my organization that is going to be a consistent person for you to help you to continue to grow and to see your potential, but also like be really understanding when challenges arise and when life happens, because it's one of the greatest things that our employers can do for themselves as an organization, to build from within and to support throughout. And then also for our young people, just to have those champions are just like, it's irreplaceable. And there's no amount of money that you can really like attach to truly staying the course with our young people.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, the work of, career connected learning, which is how we met, and the work that we're doing right now, even just with this podcast, when I connect students with industry partners, undoubtedly, it is as impactful, if not more so, for the industry partner than it is for the student. It just reinvigorates, it gives a sense of purpose and meaning that maybe they had lost a little bit. So listening to what you're saying and having the experience of it as well, I definitely want to encourage any of our listeners out there, to think about that and think about it really intensely and intentionally. Because if you choose to step up and support and mentor, it's going to be just as good for you as it is for that person that you're mentoring. So a big proponent of that. I actually just posted a little thing about it on LinkedIn. So I appreciate you saying that. And, that's the whole point of the North Central Washington MVP podcast, is to let other entities and let our community members know what we're doing, who's doing what, and how they can get involved. And I think that sense of community is it's good for everybody. So I appreciate everything that you've shared and maybe motivated somebody to kind of jump in on. But we are at the end of our time. I knew this one was going to go super fast. So very quickly, could you let us know how can somebody get in touch with either one of you, or maybe just Fyre in general? What's the best way to get in touch if they want to reach out and participate and volunteer?
Yeah, so I would recommend, if they're an employer, to reach out directly to Christy, and all of our emails are our names at okfyre.org. Mm-hmm. And if they're just a community member or somebody who wants to learn more or somebody who wants to donate, they can definitely contact us at info@okfyre.org or give us a call. We do have a website and are searchable via Google, but our main line is 509-557-6457. And we just welcome anybody who wants to reach out, anybody who wants to come and visit and take a tour. We welcome questions and feedback and community insight all the time.
I love it. I really feel like every single community needs a Fyre in their community if they don't have it already. So here's what I'm going to do. We're closing down here. We're over our 30 minutes, but that's okay, because anybody who is consuming this after the fact, where it's recorded, they can kind of adjust their time. But I'm going to package this up really nicely and send it out. I'll make sure that all the contact information is in that email, along with the link to this interview. And if anybody also has questions, I'm sure I can make the contact to you if for some reason you missed it or you're not seeing it on the email. But we'll do our best to share this out far and wide. Thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for sharing it with us. And thanks for being our MVPs.
Thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Have a great day.